Hey guys, welcome to episode 12 of Comic Crunch. And of course, with me always here is Mr. Lou Rod. How's it going?
I'm doing well, sir. How are we doing this fine young evening?
I am exhausted. I'm tired. But anyway, we are back for another show. So, yeah, it's been fun. Let's see. We have Mr. Henderson in there, and we have Mohammed. Everything Samsung Pro. Yeah. So anyway, guys, thanks for joining in. This week we have a lot of stuff. We have a couple of topics there. We're going to talk about the Batman, Wonder Woman, Negan, yes, and of course we're going to recap our shows. But we're going to start doing the show in a little different way. So we're going to start off with our news segment, and we're going to punch those out. And we spend probably around 10 minutes of news, and then we'll go over to our topics, and then we'll end up with the recaps. So that's what we're doing. Hey, how's it going, Joshua? So let's start off with the news. You know what? I was going to start off with some of the things you put out, but I think I'll start off with since today is April 1st, and usually means, of course, April Fools. The Canadian government gave us a nice one here by releasing Wolverine's military record. Now, if you guys know, Wolverine is Canadian in the comics, and here's his military record here. Shows, his real name, his alias, all that fun stuff in there. So that was pretty cool by the Canadian government doing that there. Just see here, attention, attested papers, all that stuff you can find. So we'll have a link for you guys if you want to check it out yourself. But that is Wolverine's military record from the Canadian government, which is cool. I like the way they actually do some stuff there. Next up, Wonder Woman, slew of photos. For some reason, I just lost my images. Let me just find the link for you. But what did you think of the images while I look for them? Just your thoughts.
They were cool. Her looks like she was pulling Steve out of the water.
Yes.
Or does he wash up on the beach? Either way, it looked nice. And then her little army in the back, like hovering over them, like, okay, who's this fool?
Mm-hmm. Oh shoot, I can't find it.
Heroic Hollywood should have it.
Have it. Thank you. I know the site. Oh, here it is. I have it. Sorry, I apologize. For some reason, I just and it says Wonder Woman right here on the tab too. By the way, so here it is. So remember that photo we saw last week of Gal Gadot in that kind of silver outfit. This is it here. She is. Hold on a second. So she's by the water. She's pulling Steve Trevor out of the water. You can see her talking to Steve. He gets up. Some more stuff again. And rubbing oil on Gal Gadot. People who love Gal Gadot will like that. You can see her
a little oil bath.
I like she's looking very toned. She's got a nice toned look to it. And she's running out of the water. And then we see some scenes, some of the ladies in there. I don't know who this character is because I can't see. I'm not sure who it is correctly, but we see the Amazons and we see military soldiers. So I am guessing they landed. Granted, hopefully this truck doesn't showcase in the movie right there, but I am guessing somehow the military landed on Themyscira, and this is what we get here. Either after. What's his name is landed, Steve Trevor or not? I mean, what do you think?
Looks like I said, it looks good. This is one movie that I am looking forward to watching. Can't wait for it. Too bad it ain't coming this year.
Yeah. The one thing I will say though is I hate to be the person to bring this up, is just that all the Amazons are white in complexion, except. Pretty much. So, I'm just saying, because I don't want WB to fall into that case next year where they go, Amazon's all white women. Can we now have, Arab women, Black women, Latino women as Amazons? Just that complexion wise. I don't want them to fall into that.
I don't recall ever seeing any of them a different complexion in any of the cartoons or comics.
Oh, yeah. Her best friend is, she's olive skin in the cartoon. Her best friend is white in color, and the most fierce Amazon is black. So I'm just saying.
Well, hey, that's just a few. Who knows?
Maybe exactly. Who knows? Maybe this is just the lead. Who knows? So I'll say how it is. Let's see. Ulysses, we'll get to your question in a second. So the next topic here we have is Full Metal Alchemist live action movie in the works. So the Japanese film will be adapted by Hiramaru Akawara, and the manga would be adapted into, of course, live action. Now, since this is done in Japan, this is expected. They've done a lot of Japanese anime that way. I would love to see Full Metal Alchemist make it like big in Hollywood, because it's a story you can make. It's basically about magic. That's all it is. If you think about it, it's just very mature. You know, the fact that if you don't know the story about Full Metal Alchemist, the main character, his mother died, and he and his brother were trying to resurrect. So that's the main character here. They're trying to resurrect their mother from the grave, and using magic or alchemy, as you call it. And things went wrong, and the magic spell was about to suck the brother's soul. So he attached his brother's soul to this big giant armor, and he lost his arm. And that's how you get Full Metal. That's just the beginning of the story. So he's trying to now get his brother's body back.
See, that could be told well in Hollywood, actually.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it. I mean, again, it's about two boys. I mean, you don't make them, because in the anime, the young boys. You can make them a little older. Or you can make it into a series where you make them teenagers. You know, the older one is a teenager, the other one is like, 10. And then it's this journey of these brothers learning magic, and then, trying to find out who their father is, how their father is connected to their mother's death, and all that kind of stuff. I know if Hollywood gets it, they're going to downplay a lot of stuff, because this thing gets dark. Full Metal Alchemist can get dark quickly. Still has humor, but can get dark. So, you know how Hollywood can mess things up. So, we'll see. We'll see how that turns out. Also, I'll save this for last. Disney released D23 Expo dates for 2017. They will be on the weekend of July 14th, which is a week before Comic-Con. Yeah. So thoughts? What do you think? I mean, Disney is basically going head to head against Comic-Con and saying we don't need you. I mean, which is technically true.
Yeah, that part is true. But watching the Smo show yesterday, they kind of broke it down in a smart sense. People can't all go to Comic-Con because Comic-Con is sold out in a matter of minutes. So what Disney did, for those who can't make it to the Comic-Con, they could come to their event, which 9 times out of 10, they want to see their stuff anyway.
I mean, yeah, true. I definitely agree. And, that's Disney's prerogative there with Comic-Con. But it's one of those things where, I mean, what it just says is 2 things. One, Disney's doing its own thing, which we knew was about time, because they have hits with movies, they have hits with Pixar, they have hits with Marvel, right? So that's a huge slate on its own that can carry its own show. Now, this is where Warner Brothers and Sony and Fox need to now step up. Now, Fox and Warner Brothers are 2 in the best advantage, because Warner Brothers just kicked off the DCEU. Fox just has a new revitalization because of Deadpool and hopefully this new X-Men movie. So yes, they can come in and say, Warner Brothers can come in, this Comic-Con and say, you know what, from now on, you see us every year. First off, you're going to see Wonder Woman, Justice League. Oh, and by the way, here's the Batman. And then, Fox is going to be like, oh, you know what? Yeah, Gambit movie is on the back burner, but here's X-Force with Gambit inside, and then Deadpool and Cable is the title of Deadpool 2, Deadpool and Cable. Just call it that. Done.
And that's where they can introduce Gambit.
Yeah. No.
In the Deadpool Cable movie.
No.
And then spin them into X-Force.
I say in X-Force, not in the Deadpool Cable movie. I say X-Force. Don't mean X-Force.
No, to introduce him.
No,
they meet him in Deadpool sequel. Say they, God forbid, travel to New Orleans for some bullshit.
No, remember, Gambit is also a thief, so he doesn't have to be in New Orleans. He steals everywhere. But yeah, you could definitely do that. Moving on, Kevin Smith confirms that Jay from Jay and Silent Bob will appear on Flash episode, so we'll get to see him there. I don't think that's too big of a news. Jennifer Lawrence says she is willing to come back to X-Men movies. Ooh, wow. She said, she was kind of talking about how she didn't want to do too many comic book movies, but then you have to realize, and, doing a comic book movie can be job security. if you really think about it. Henry Cavill is going to do 3 movies already now, right? 3 movies. He's done 2. There's Justice League. He's going to do more. Maybe not. There may be another Superman movie. They may not. I think they will be. WB wants to have that. We'll just see when. And then you now have Ben Affleck. He's tied to 3 movies, and then he's going to do a Batman, Wonder Woman, the same thing. So you now being the focus of the X-Men franchise. I mean, you're going to be making bank. So you might as well. Yeah, you might as well do that.
Even Chris Evans has changed his stance on it.
Yeah.
Because he's like, well, I'll re-up if they want me to, because like you said, it's job security for maybe another 10 years.
Yeah.
But then secondly, in between the big blockbuster, you can do a small picture and you could continue to work. And like for some people like Evans, he wants to direct. So he could take small little projects and direct them in between his big ones.
Yeah.
So it works out good for everyone in all parties. And let's be real, she ain't leading movies like she used to.
No, I mean, it's not that. She's also been oversaturated too. So she needs to take a step back. If I'm her, you do the X-Men movies, you kick back, do some smaller projects here and there. X-Men is paying the bills anyway. So you have time to go do the smaller project. And then take a hiatus. And then come back with another like blockbuster. That's how you keep things fresh. Because the problem with her was not that she's a bad actor or she's done anything wrong. It's just that we've seen her in like 7 movies in like 2 years. So you become oversaturated. So you want to kind of scale back on that. And again, with Mystique, because of the blue color, you can kind of fade it. You're like, it's a fantasy movie. You can kind of put it that way out there. And then just going over some of the other news. Let's see. Robin Wright is in talks to join Blade Runner. She's on a roll. She does this. She does Blade Runner. She's in a good place. She's doing Wonder Woman as well. So, plus the fact that she's got a hit show with
Kevin Spacey,
House of Cards. I mean, she's on a good roll right there. Let's see. Patrick Adams has been cast in the mystery role. I do not know who he is or what he has done. So unless somebody can fill me in, that is Patrick Adams right there. I
don't know what he's done or what he's acted in before, but it's the season finale of Legends of Tomorrow. And
Booster Gold.
That's my assumption that he's going to play the Booster Gold character to continue the time jumping scenarios for season 2.
Yeah, Booster Gold. Interesting. Okay. Let's see what else do we have in the news here. Anything I missed? I think that's pretty much it. Deadpool DVD Blu-ray will arrive this May. So that's just to let you guys know.
May 10th to be exact.
Yeah. So it'll be there. Now, Star Wars episode 7 is available for digital download today, as well as also deleted scenes. We've checked that out. I was not too impressed. What about you?
We missed a few. There was a few deleted scenes missing.
I've seen all of them. I was still not too impressed.
Oh, I didn't see them all, but I kind of wish they left the one scene in the movie where Kylo walks into the Millennium Falcon and he's just standing in the cockpit, because that brings them. It gives the emotional moment more meaning when he kills his father.
Yeah, that is the one I do like. That one I like. The rest just didn't do anything for me. The snow speed chase. I'm glad. Honestly, out of all of them, that's the only one that should have been in the movie. The rest I didn't care for it.
Yeah, the other ones were okay.
I mean, before people hate me here, I love the movie, but that movie was too predictable for its own good. For me, I knew the movie as soon as I started watching it. Like,
there's 2 scenes that I would have liked to see in the movie as well.
Which other ones?
The Maz Kanata pulling the roof down with the Force on the stormtroopers, and Chewbacca ripping out whatever the hell the pink dude's name was, his arm.
Yeah. I mean, true. But again, it was, I don't know. It just wasn't anything that was like mind blowing.
Yeah, but when you listen to it in the novel, it just makes it sound so much better. Just to see if it would be, just to watch it visualize would have been great.
Great, yeah. Okay, let's see. Let's see. So we have a few questions here before we continue. Can anyone tell me why the actor from the TV show Flash isn't playing Flash in BVS in Justice League? Because they're two different universes completely, and it is absolutely fine. And
But you know what?
what?
I kind of have to agree with.
No, I disagree with him because
I do agree with El Mayimbe's partner because if they would have casted Grant Gustin as the Flash, that movie makes another 20 million opening weekend.
It will not. It will not. Let me tell you. Let me tell you who I agree with the most, though. If that movie, if you wanted that movie to make more money, Grace from Beyond trailer said, it's a lot of times, just like Star Wars, reviews were only released a day before the movie came out. BVS should release the review should have dropped Thursday night. Would not have affected that weekend completely.
Yeah, it would. It would have had the Fantastic Four effect.
No, they wouldn't have had the Fantastic Four because what you have, they remember they released the reviews on Tuesday. I say if you release it on Thursday, it's the same reviews that were going to come out anyway. But if you release it on Thursday, you have less of that drop-off effect that you had on Sunday. That's the whole reason. It has nothing to do with Justin Grant cast as a Flash. Really. It has nothing. Yeah, he says there are 10 million viewers. It's not 10 million. It's actually 5.6. So let's cut that in half there, okay? And it's not as big as it should be. I like it this way because you know what? If WB were smart, this is what they should do. He shows up in the Flash solo movie because the Flash solo movie is not a prequel. I mean, it's not a origin story. He shows up there, and then you start building in all this time traveling because of the Flash into that universe, and you make it because he doesn't remember. You don't have to watch the Flash episode. That's the beauty about it, right? It's just like when he showed up in Supergirl. You don't have to watch Flash, even though you're a Supergirl fan, but you got and understood what happened. That's what makes the character beautiful. That's why you don't have to actually cast the same person in there. Let's see. They are keeping the movies disconnected from the TV shows. Yes, I hope the director can film action. I don't know who's directing Flash.
I'm talking about Patty Jenkins.
Oh, Patty Jenkins? I mean, we'll see. We'll see.
She's a good director.
Yeah, she's a good director.
She's directed some Game of Thrones episodes.
I'll put it this way. The only problem I have for all these people who are going to continue from Zack Snyder is whether you liked Man of Steel or BVS or not, is that you're going to have a hard time beating his action the way he does it compared to whatever you do. So that's the only thing that you'll get.
He may be the good action director, but these other directors might tell a better damn story than his stupid ass.
Oh, look at him now. Oh, somebody doesn't like BVS anymore. What happened?
I'm not disagreeing. His storytelling, they handcuffed him when they cut the movie down.
Yeah, I mean that's what it is. But
he dealt with the same crap with the Watchmen.
Yeah, true though. Yeah, that 3-hour cut of Watchmen is so beautiful, man. It's unbelievable.
So if you just allowed him to keep, if you see that this person tells a better story with a longer movie, then maybe you should realize that maybe we should leave it at that length.
Especially with all the stuff you want in there. Raul says, Al Mayimbe says they might push Aquaman back for Batman Solo in 2018. I mean, it's very possible. I don't think so, though. The only reason why I say I don't think so is because WB is very keen on James Wan. Remember, James Wan was going to go and shoot Fast 8. They tied him down to Aquaman and this. There was a bidding war to get James Wan over. So you want to make sure he's already in that process of starting. You want to make sure you shoot it out as much as possible. Like I said, when I said with the Batman discussion, I think what it is that it's going to, remember, Aquaman is in the end of the year anyway, of 2018. I'm thinking the Batman starts shooting this year. The problem is Ben Affleck won't have a break. He'll probably hate himself, which would make him a miserable, badass Batman, which is fine. So
there's no issues really. You can shoot Batman and Aquaman because they're not going to be in each other's movies.
Exactly, yeah.
And they're two different directors.
Yeah, so it's not even a matter of even moving date. It's just a matter of picking the right date to drop. Like I said, with the Batman, if Ben Affleck starts shooting on the 11th, he shoots all the bulk of his stuff early first, right? Everybody has to meet because already we know Henry Cavill is in shape. We know Khal Drogo has been in shape. We know Flash has been bulking up, and Wonder Woman is still technically shooting. So everybody's ready to go. So you can start shooting, like especially like the action sequences and stuff like you need to do with Batman, at least anyway. You can do that first, and then have Ben Affleck go ahead and do the Batman. And you'll be surprised when that movie drops and it's like, wait, there's, because, when you were watching El Miami show, the guy was saying, they were talking about how Justice League may not make $1 billion or not. Everybody keeps forgetting the movie that will make $1 billion next year. I'm going to call it out now is Wonder Woman. Ooh. Because of such, Ben Affleck got huge reception. Wonder Woman got even big, to me, it was bigger reception. It was just much more where everybody said, Wonder Woman, I love the character. It was great. It was this, it was that, so I think, that makes a whole lot of sense. How do you think Bored at Work? How did I pick the name? I was bored at work. The Batman v Superman Blu-ray isn't coming out to probably July or so. So I'm thinking. Joshua says, I like Grant Gustin, but the lighter tone doesn't fit DCU. I think it does if the Flash does it. And they said Justice League is going to be a lighter movie. What do you think? Why do you think a lot of people want BVS to fail? I don't get it. I don't know. It's a lot of things. I would cancel Cyborg movie and put Superman movie there. That's 2020. I think what's going to happen is a Cyborg movie becomes Titans movie. But also, again, we haven't seen Cyborg, right? The thing about the Cyborg movie is that the cool thing about Cyborg is that if we all love the character when we see it, then there's a chance to make a movie. That's really where it starts. And that's why the movie was stated at 2020. Now, a lot of people complain there's no Green Lantern in this. I think Green Lantern shows up. So, El Miami talked about it also that, the movie Justice League will probably be a movie based where it starts off with the almost like Atlanteans and Themyscirians, so basically Wonder Woman, the Amazonians are almost going to war because they've had a long feud in there. So that's probably somewhere where the movie starts, and then there's a bigger threat where they have to come together. But that threat is still not Darkseid. I don't think it's going to be Darkseid. I think Darkseid's minions might come down. Maybe one of his generals might come down first before we actually see Darkseid himself. But I think we'll get a clear indication of Darkseid in this movie. Martian Manhunter movie, I paid to see that. You know what? As much as everybody loves Martian Manhunter, I don't think he fits in the movie. He's done, Supergirl TV show, he looks good in that right now, but I don't think Martian Manhunter fits that pretty well. So I'm not too keen on him in that, but I still watch it anyway. I think that's something that will work in there. Now, while there we go. So he's finally back. Thank you very much.
Sorry about that.
No, it's all right. So we've just been answering questions here and going through some of the stuff that we have before we get to the recap. The thing I want to ask though is, Jackie brought this up, said cancel Cyborg movie, put Superman there in 2020. I said you don't have to cancel anything. That's 2020, so it's far away. But what if Cyborg is such a great hit? Like, everybody's like, yeah, Cyborg. It's really, like at the show. You know what? Because what is it?
You don't need to cancel.
Yeah, it's far away.
Turn the Cyborg movie into Titans and do what Marvel's doing as of next year. 3 movies a year.
Yeah.
And there you go. Just pick up another date to put Superman in. Preferably not this summer because he'll make his money, but not that much money.
Superman needs to be same time as Thor. I will put Superman against remember Thor always comes out in that fall period, right? Right before. That's a good time for Superman.
Yeah, but Thor's next year. Superman.
No. I'm just saying Thor just a time from now.
In November.
That October, November period. That's a good time because it's going to make money, but it won't make. But then again, if it depends on how you change it up. I think the thing about this is what's going to happen is DC movies is getting a rebirth. It's weird. This is my thought process here. No, when I say rebirth in the sense that just also because of reactions and stuff. Superman died, right? Superman comes back to life. Every single character that was darker in this movie they're still going to be dark. They're just going to be less dark at this time from because audiences just can't handle it. I sent you an article yesterday, the one on New York Post about the the whole process of how Zack Snyder goes through his movies. It makes a lot of sense, but most people just won't get it.
I didn't read that. I thought it was an April Fool's joke.
No, it isn't an April Fool's joke.
Because you said April Fool's, and
no. I was referring to the video you sent me. But Zack Snyder's process of Superman, I'll give you like a quick synopsis there in the article. I'll put it in the description there. Basically, people say he hates Superman. This is not the Superman they love. This is about challenging all his movies. This whole movie series is about challenging the characters and their ideals. So the whole idea of the way Superman behaved in this movie is challenging his characteristics of him being a good guy, him wanting to help everyone, and looking at it from everyone's viewpoint against him. So that's why a lot of people just don't get it, because Superman is not, saying, oh, jolly good, let's, do blah, 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 whatever the case may be. Joshua says, I completely agree with you, because Wonder Woman got praised by many, and her movie is going to make good money, and JL will make more than that. I think it's silly to think Thor would be JL. Well, because the Hulk is there with Thor. That's the whole perception there. I agree with El Miami, though. Bryan Cranston as Darkseid, yes. That would make fans, like, you need to cast somebody to just make fans calm down. That's all you need to do right now.
Yeah, I mean, they also mentioned Ron Perlman. I like Ron Perlman as an actor, but I don't think his voice is deep enough for a Darkseid.
Yeah, you throw in Bryan Cranston and you've got every fan will be like, oh, it should be Luthor, but like, okay. But again, too, right? The other thing is, LexCorp officially denounced Lex Luthor, his actions in an Instagram post on the Instagram page. This is Lex Jr. Maybe Lex Sr. will come back somehow. Maybe he's still Bryan.
Lex Sr.'s dead, isn't he?
They never actually even said that. He just said, my father built this company. You never know. I mean, I'm just saying that's just like throwing that.
The only story that kind of kept Lex Sr. alive was Smallville.
Oh, I love Lex Sr. in Smallville too, man. Oh man, he was great. That guy was a shiesty bastard. I forgot about him. Oh,
I don't see them keeping that storyline.
I swear, if they brought him as Lex Sr., I would be so happy, because that dude was just evil. He was plain evil. Let's see. 2 Cents says, Bryan Cranston as anybody is money. Cyborg is popular character among comic readers. Seems like a strange choice for a movie to me. Cyborg is very popular with the cartoons and younger kids. That's why. I mean, my cousin who's 13 knows Cyborg very well. He knows his history. He doesn't know the history of Flash that well until he started watching the TV show. He knew Cyborg way early. So
that's why you give Cyborg a Titans movie.
Yeah. So Cyborg could be, it could still be called Cyborg, and it could be like the beginning of the Titans movie, that kind of thing. Or it could be a Titans movie, whichever way they want to do it. But
Cyborg and the Titans.
Yeah, there was enough time, down the line for them to do that. Did Cranston say he wanted to do a Marvel gig? He's been pretty adamant about it. Hopefully DC can get him. Well, I mean, we'll see. Jackie says jail should be lighter, but not so much that it makes Man of Steel and BVS seem like it's a different universe. I agree. I think as long as what they need to do is ramp up the humor from Alfred a little bit more, ramp up the humor from Flash, and then make comedic moments where Wonder Woman and Aquaman fight. Like they just not like fight. They fight once because of the war between both of them, and they keep fighting throughout the whole period. Where it's like, get on my way, like and Wonder Woman's like, I will beat you completely. I don't care how big you are. That kind of thing where it's like there's still some animosity. That I think is what is going to be there.
You lighten it up by Batman not killing no more. That's it.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I said the rebirth, right? Because he said, he failed Superman. He's not going to kill. Superman's going to come back alive and go, wow, you know what? I feel this world is a better place, miraculously. A black male lead, big people downplayed that diversity importance. It's also good to have a diverse superior team. John Stewart, I think Zack Snyder said that he still has a few characters left for the Justice League that he's not talking about. So I still think Green Lantern's going to come just towards the end of this flick. And It's going to be a black Green Lantern. WB wants a black Green Lantern because Jon Stewart. I just don't know who. I think it's Nate Parker.
Tyrese.
No, I think it's Nate Parker. I think Tyrese has met up with them, but I think it's Nate Parker. Nate Parker is the one right now in Hollywood who he can get anything he wants, and Marvel is not looking at him right now. At least, at least what I've heard. At least is Marvel's looking at him for Blade movie, but I say he should stay away from that, and I think being Green Lantern should be his call. That's huge. You know, it is. I mean, the Justice League cartoons basically remade Jon Stewart as the main Green Lantern. It's people like me who are older who know Hal Jordan are going, yes. Like I said, my little cousins are like, hey, yeah, it's, Green Lantern is Jon Stewart. And then I gave him the Green Lantern cartoon that was Hal Jordan. He was like, I thought Jon Stewart was the first. I was like, no, this was the first guy. That was the second one. So it's like that. It's that kind of stuff. But anyway, guys, let's move on to we'll get to more questions, but let's look on to our weekly wrap-up. So let's start off with The Walking Dead. And before that, there, of course, was some leaked info on Negan. You listen to it and tell me what you think. Negan's clip came out for this week's episode that's going to show up on Sunday. So what do you think about Negan?
All I'm going to say is this. He sounded good, but if they're doing what I think they're doing, The Walking Dead could kick rocks. I'm trying to keep it PG because I have some choice words for what they plan on doing, and it's the most stupidest thing that they can do.
Okay. All right. So that's all it is we have to say for that. But so what about last week's episode? What do you think? The way it went, the way it ended?
Sorry, folks. Daryl's not dead.
Yes, Daryl.
If you're thinking Daryl died by a mere flesh gunshot wound, he didn't. He will be seen this Sunday. So get it out your head.
Yes,
he ain't dead yet.
Daryl isn't dead. I like the episode, but I felt like everybody was too emotional in this episode, though, especially for the amount of stuff that they've gone through in this world, almost.
But see, what they're going through right now sets it up beautifully for this Sunday coming up.
I mean, that's what I expected. I'm just like, but if you look at it as an isolated episode, I was like, come on, guys. This is a little too much. I get the arc they're going with.
Excuse me. Rosita's going through turmoil internally because of the fact that she's watching guard at her post and her used-to-be friend is flirting with her used-to-be man.
Yeah.
So she just wants to get the hell out of there. Daryl is blaming himself for the death of the niece. He's taking that burden on himself because he should have killed Dwight when he first had the chance back in the first half of the season. Yeah. So I see what all the commotion is and the way it built. And frankly, Morgan, like I said, is just useless. They made this brother useless as hell.
See, I don't think he's useless. I think I get where Morgan is coming from. But I like the fact that Morgan also has now become to understand that, look, he can't disrupt that unit. So which is why he went to go look for Carol. Basically, he knows that Carol isn't coming back anyway. He's just saying, I'm leaving.
See, this is a conversation that we had Tuesday night. I painted the picture this way. Carol is most likely what they're doing with Carol. She's taking on a storyline that actually happens later on in the comics with Michonne, where Michonne left the group because she was battling demons within herself.
Mm-hmm.
She needed some time to herself. She took off. This is what Carol's doing now. Between the death of Sam, the Bob the Builder getting in her head, and then Paula messing with her a little bit, and Maggie being pregnant.
Yeah, all that stuff is getting to her.
Is getting to her. So she needs a moment. When she needs to kill, she will.
Yeah. Yeah, true, which she showed. 2 Cent Comics says, Daryl and Carol are making rookie mistakes. I don't care how emotional they are. Leaving the group unnecessarily is something newbies would do. See, that is my point there. I was like, these mistakes are so rookie, especially for those two characters. The way The Walking Dead is set up, right? there's a hierarchy. There's Rick, and Rick has gone through his own deep end. We know that, right? But there's Rick, and even when Rick went on his deep end, right, he didn't leave the group. He just was like, "You all are coming with me." That's it. Now he
didn't leave the group per se, but homie was talking on a dead phone for a while.
Yeah, I know, but
homie was crazy.
Yeah, homie his demons. But then, I mean, come on. I agree with you.
See, it fits the bigger scheme. See, Daryl isn't a player in this world as far as the comic. He was created. He picked up. Now they're probably preparing you for him to die. Pure speculation. Don't know for this as a fact. We might have to wait till season 7 to truly find out.
No, Daryl's going to die, but not this season. They're going to flirt. They flirted already right now. He's not going to die now, so it's not going to happen. But your grade on the episode. What do you think?
Well, before we get there, do you remember when they were at the barn, when Rick went to take the shot and Morgan pushed his arm?
Yeah.
That character that was running away is from an up-and-coming community that we might get this Sunday. If not this Sunday, next season for sure, the Kingdom.
Oh, yes, that's right. That's right.
They're introducing the Kingdom, and that was a little tease.
Okay.
Kingdom. But my grade for the episode, it was a B.
B?
It was good.
I'll give it a B plus if I was to grade the episode, so B plus for it. All right, let's move on to Monday. Monday was Supergirl.
A plus plus.
Yeah, that was dope. That was one where I was waiting to watch it, and you know what? They had their cheesy moments, and you know what? I think what I'm liking with Supergirl now is that it's beginning to understand it's a cheesy show. It's beginning to accept the fact that it's cheesy and playing on those facts. Like, we saw the giddiness of Supergirl when Flash showed up and he got her ice cream. She can go fast, but she can not go as fast as him. So she was kind of like in awe of having that. And yeah, I didn't like the whole romance thing, the way a little bit. It wasn't that bad. It actually wasn't that bad with Jimmy Olsen. But I like the way at least Cat Crab put it on.
He was jealous.
Yeah, he was jealous though. Like, I mean, he was trying hard not to. The reason I didn't like some parts is because he got to that part where his ex-girlfriend was telling him.
Yep.
And I'm like, that part, I'm like, that's never a good sign, bro. Like, come on. You should realize this by now.
Dude, I enjoyed the fact that Wynn was having geek out moments.
Yeah.
Like, oh, finally, somebody that I could talk to that's as big as nerd as me.
Yeah, that was cool. And I like the quick introduction into the multiverse for CBS viewers, because we all on CW, you know what the multiverse is all about. On CBS, they don't know that. And seeing that there quickly, that was really well done. On the board, showing it together, and done. That's it. Very simple process. So I like that about it. But overall, I agree with you. It was an A+ episode. I like the fact that,
in my opinion,
this was
the best crossover that has been done.
Yeah, I would agree it's the best, and also the best Supergirl episode, period.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
And you know what? It actually was. Even it's a little confusing because this week's Flash, he's now learning how to build the stupid device on his chest.
Yeah. I mean, it's a little confusing, but there's no way around it, just because it took them a while to get this thing done. And Flash already had its storylines already set up for where it's supposed to be. So it made sense.
True. That is true. They just added that for this season with the case they wanted to do it. They can do it. Now it makes sense. Yes.
Well, 2 Cents says the Flash episode was cute, inconsequential. Yeah, I mean, to a certain degree, it was inconsequential because the reason why is because you have 2 different networks, so you can't have that story carry forward. There is no way you can have that story carry forward because that's relating back to Flash, and then people, like, do I have to go watch the whole of Flash to understand what's going on? So you don't want to do that. So that's why I said it was a nice episode, because for a single episode of a crossover of 2 different characters, they did a very good job in making sure that it was contained and tight. Wynn's girlfriend becoming Banshee and painting herself, I mean, I know they wanted to stick close to the look of the character. Didn't work out for Livewire looked fine. She just looked like she was like, emo punk herself, which is what she is in the comic book anyway. But Wynn's girlfriend was just, being useless. But it was anyway, overall good episode. I agree with you. It was an A for the episode.
What they did makes sense now. How you explain it? All Flash has to do in one of the episodes going forward is just touch on it that he left real quick with the device on and then comes back.
Yeah.
And
yeah, exactly.
And you explained it perfectly.
Yeah, because it's all about that. Now before we get to Flash, let's go to the next show we have on Tuesday, which should first of all be, actually do Flash, because I was going to say we should do Agents
of
S.H.I.E.L.D.
before Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, so we do Flash. Sorry, my bad. So yeah, moving on to Flash. Flash messed up his own timeline. Actually actively messed up his timeline. And I'm glad that they did that to show that you can, because before timelines have not been messed up, right? Just very, there's very little. And that was also, for me, it was a good episode because
I enjoyed it.
The fact that Reverse Flash knew who he was, could not do anything. And he's like, I can't kill you. I have to help you. And then there's this thing that we all dodge whenever we travel through time, and you brought that crap here. That means it's chasing both of us. So you need to deal with this.
I mean, I love the scene with Cisco, imposter, you.
Yeah, no, Cisco is one of the best moments and best characters of the show in terms of like he's just his timing and the geekness comes out of his character. So definitely Cisco was a good episode. It was good to see the mistake they always do, and I don't like this. I don't get it. I get they have to show the moment. So remember when he runs back to time and Pied Piper is there, the other Flash sees him and he runs off. As long as he pings the Flash, he does this, huh. I'm like, why are you wasting time? As you're carrying him over, you should have already pulled that from your leg and then stabbed him with it and be done.
Yeah, they got to make it cheesy a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you do. Yeah, I agree. I thought Cisco would for sure end up with the gloves too, but then seeing that Pied Piper now had become like almost a reformed dude was.
Well, he altered time and made Pied Piper good,
which is actually not bad, at least in a sense. But it's just weird though. That whole sequence definitely changes, which means that Reverse Flash then always knew that Barry came back. I mean, it's this thing about time travel. It always messes with your head because you're like, but if he did this and what happened there and it's always that kind of stuff. But I agree with you. Also, good episode. I think it was solid.
It was, and it did something that we complained about with Caitlin, how fast she's moved on.
Mm-hmm.
She went to the J stick really quick. But it kept Iris in the back where she's been grieving for this kid for about a year now.
Yeah.
And her watching that video now is giving her like, okay,
closure.
I can finally move forward.
Yeah, but see, the thing with Caitlin grieving though was she did it properly. In this,
Man.
No, Caitlin, sorry. Iris grieving, my bad, sorry. Iris grieving properly. She just didn't date anyone. She's like, I've moved on in my life, but I don't want to talk about that. That's what most normal people do. They go like, you know what? Okay, fine. But you know what? I'm going to take my time if I get to that market. That's why when she had that date, she was like, And then she kind of thought about like, maybe I should date him. I don't know. And, that kind of thing. And that was nice, Barry, bringing that back. I know he felt really guilty about that. So it was nice him bringing back that message. He was like, I kind of found this on my phone and blah, 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 so.
Good way to play it off because, I think he's broken his phone quite a few times.
Yeah, he has, but yeah, of course. Barry and Iris just need to get together. Yeah, you know what? Season 3, they just need to get together.
But I like what they're doing. They're not forcing it down our throats.
No. I see.
At first, not even at first, it just felt weird because it's like, dude, you've been in this kid's life since you were 10. You are like her brother, and then you want to hook up with her? That's some sick shit.
Yeah, but that's why the brother now is here. It kind of now brings that proper divide because the brother doesn't see him as a brother, right? He goes, that guy is just so weird. he's treating him as like the other, like the guest in the house or something almost. So it's a very different feel. But I agree, Barry and Iris just needs to get to that point. Most likely mid-season of season 3 is probably when that's going to start.
Well, he better learn how to tame himself, if you know what I mean.
All right, so we liked both Supergirl and Flash. What about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? Let's move on to that.
It was an okay episode. It had its ups and downs. I enjoyed it a little bit. It was.
Yeah, you're right. It was an okay episode for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I didn't like the fact that what's her name again with the shockwave?
Sky. Well, sorry, Daisy.
Whatever her name is, just why I forget it. Has just all of a sudden become militant, and then her boyfriend has all of a sudden become the other way around. Like literally, she's like, "We need to take every single measure we can," and da 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 da. And it was like, I mean, like Daisy, man, you're the one who was like, "We need to be able to fit in," and then her boy, like, they just switch roles completely. So, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, but role reversal switch because he was with Phil, and he had to be on his best behavior.
Yeah, true.
And she became guilty using her powers because then it drove the watchdogs to Mac's house because they thought it was him.
Yeah.
So she saw the errors in her way.
Hopefully. Joshua says, is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. any good? Yes. And if I were you, I will start off from season 2, the last 3 episodes, and just watch. Season 1 is just garbage.
He could watch season 1, but watch the episode right before Civil War, Winter Soldier, and then after that to it ends. Those episodes were all good. And then last season had its ups and downs, and this season it started off great.
Up to maybe like 2 episodes which haven't been that great, but that's about it, I would say, this season. Yeah.
I'd say it started off great. The mid-season finale had its issues, but those were editing issues. And the premiere that they came back with was weak. The episode after that was weak.
No, the episode after that was the setup for the next, so I give it that. But it was 2 episodes.
And then when we're going now, they set up elements of Civil War in this episode.
Yeah, they mentioned Sokovia and things like that. Like, I don't like mentions. To me, I hate it. Just mentioning does not do me anything. Which is why, like, when I always tell people, I was like, I prefer the way the DC cinematic universe is set up. Not because I hate Marvel. It's just the fact that if Superman's going to show up, Batman has seen him, and he knows, and he's scared. Simple. I don't want to see mentions. I hate when they just drop mention, like, ooh. I'm like, no. I mean, you're in the same universe. It's like everything with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, right? Okay, so where has Spider-Man been this whole time? You got to explain that to me. Granted, is he just dealing with lower level criminals, even though he's a much bigger guy? I mean, I don't know, but we'll see.
That's one of the issues. One of the guys I do a show with has the continuity is like
it's jacked.
It's a little jacked up because you get the Netflix shows referencing each other, but then yet they mention the movies, but they don't even mention S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, they just vaguely they call it the event, the guy in the sky. They might go man with armor. I'm like, you can't even mention Tony Stark. It's the richest dude in your universe. Come on, no. 2 Cents says he hasn't caught up with the rest of the week, so good show. Peace. And I might check out Agents of I love Agent Carter. Might check out you check out Agent S.H.I.E.L.D. Like I said, started from where we mentioned, and you'll be fine. Moving on to Arrow.
It was. Let me see.
It was a decent episode.
I enjoyed this episode. It had its little dumb moments,
right? As I like to call it, right?
It had its little dumb moments, but in actuality, I really did enjoy it.
I enjoyed it, and I also hated it at the same time. So one of the characters I do like, and I have the comics for, is Mr. Terrific. And the portrayal of Mr. Terrific is terrible. Terrible, as far as I'm concerned. Mr. Terrific he's a very smart dude. So yeah, they've got that part right. The only person who is smarter than him in the DC universe is Blue Beetle and Lex Luthor. That's it. The dude's very smart. he also was an athlete. And this guy, even though he mentioned he was a triathlon, he doesn't behave like one. Doesn't even look like one.
Now I have a question for you. Are you referring to the same Blue Beetle that was in the Titans movie that we just watched?
No. The original Blue Beetle, the one in the DC. So in the DC cinematic universe, there is Blue Beetle. His name is Ted Kord. He owns Kord Industries, and he's very smart. He's the one that always if you ever see Blue Beetle and Booster Gold, that's the one that pairs up with him. He was older, and then this Blue Beetle was the young what's his name, Jaime, young kid named Jaime. So different technology. Yeah, it has alien technology. This Blue Beetle didn't have any technology at all. He just had his own. He had the Scarab, but he just kind of used some of that technology for other stuff that he made. So that's my problem with Mr. Terrific. He just is a character that, like he's like those orbs that he made that she made it into an explosive bomb.
Well, they weren't perfected yet, that they still blow up.
Yeah, they still blow up. The orbs are awesome. Like Mr. Terrific fights with 3 or 4 orbs that makes him invisible to any kind of tech. You cannot see him. Doesn't matter whether it's alien or earthbound. Like if you're using any kind of technology to survey him, forget it. And then he uses those things to fight. So whenever he not that he can fly, he actually stands on 2 of them and floats around wherever he wants to go. And I mean, he's just a very smart character, and also he is a world-class athlete. So I just don't see it from this dude. I get the kind of Mr. Terrific trying to do, but it just doesn't do it for me. The episode was all right. Olicity needs to die and just move on. I'm tired of it. Arrow needs to
Arrow needs to go back to its first 2 seasons of darkness.
Yeah. Do you think at least Bruce Wayne will show up in Arrow or Flash? No.
Never.
No. Bruce Wayne Tech, I think, was kind of mentioned or hinted. Batman was hinted, not Wayne Tech. Batman was hinted, but we do know that Superman does not exist in Arrow universe. Because remember, if you watch Supergirl, what do you call it again?
Different Earth.
Yeah, different Earth. They mentioned it, just like no one like you is no alien. They have no aliens in our universe. It's called that. Yet. So that's what it is. So if you put it this way, this is the universe where Superman maybe just lands maybe next year or something, whatever, from Krypton. Could be. Or could be that he's maybe 18, 19, or 20, and he's just been, at the farm, hiding out, that kind of stuff where he hasn't come out yet.
Well, they did mention that we might be getting Superboy next season on Supergirl.
That's possible, yeah. I remember Superboy is very possible because Lex cloned Superboy. That's how Superboy was made. And Superman's already around in there, so.
Also, I could see how they do that with Max.
Yeah. So, you can definitely do that. And then that now negates you having Superman in the show completely. Because then Superboy can always come back and help. He, wants to be himself, go out and see the world. Because remember, he's not as powerful as Superman. He's not as powerful as her, but he's also good help whenever she needs it. And then you have her there. Because like I said, having Superman in the show just negates the whole show entirely.
Yeah, as long as they don't clone no damn dog and make the dog superhuman, we're good.
Yeah. So yeah, like I said, it was a decent show, but Arrow needs to go back to that earlier format because
it does. Either an earlier format or just fire their writers and change up their stories, and they need the darkness back.
Yeah, we have an answer for what CW should do for their shows. We'll talk about that quickly after we talk about DC Legends of Tomorrow.
I like it.
Yeah. It was good. I felt bad for Ray Palmer, man. He was like getting happy. He's like, I found something, And I like the nod to Bill Gates though. That was pretty cool. I was like, wait, is that Bill Gates in 1958? He's like, no, my son, William, and he's like, you're Bill Gates' father? Like that was such a nerd moment where he just slipped. So some people might not find it funny, but I can see how he would do that. He was like, you're Bill Gates.
He would do that. He's the type of person that would slip and oh, you know what? I like that. I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah. So I believe so. No, they didn't mention LexCorp, but I think LexCorp is in this universe. It's just, I mean, think about LexCorp. Lex evilness only arises in public when Superman shows up. So that's the problem. Yeah, I mean, he's a big corporation, but no, his evilness has not come out yet because Superman's around. Superman's not around. But Lex hates Superman. He hates the idea of God in the sky. He hates that because he thinks he's better than everybody else. And when somebody towers above him, he can't stand it. So you get that. But back to DC Legends of Tomorrow, I do like the fact that the bounty hunter was
became Heatwave.
No, was always Heatwave. Remember, it's time traveling. So this has always happened before, and the only way they thought they could stop it was getting Heatwave, who was marooned, and brought him back as the bounty hunter. That's why.
And you know, Captain Cole doing the thing to his hand.
Oh, that was nice. That was nice. I was like, wait, there's probably some tech on the ship that can probably fix his hand.
And there was.
I was like, there was. Yeah, I was like.
And to your question, Josh, Ray did get that at the end.
He was getting it for 2 years.
Yeah, but on the ship.
Yeah.
He kept it going.
Yeah, so I mean, it was a good episode. See, I like the way they're going. See, that this episode was nice use of the same characters they had. It's such good logic of using the idea of time travel, of saying, look, your main villain who's been chasing you is one of your crew members the whole time.
Yeah, man, who would have imagined Boba Fett being Heatwave?
Yeah. So, I mean, I like that. It was a good episode, good setup. We'll see how things move forward as they go to the future. But, you know, I think even if this show is becoming a little bit more tame and understanding what they need to do and using all those hints and callbacks in there. So, and also using different sets, you know, sets up from older things like, you know, going to Rajah Place.
That apartment looked familiar, though.
Yeah, it did. It did. I think that's an apartment from Arrow. Somebody's apartment.
That's a Diggle Wiggles place.
Yeah. See? But they just changed the furniture. They made it, you know, retro furniture. But that's it. That's what you have to do to make it go around because, you know, it being a more expensive show, you do that. So anyway, so we've been talking about how can CW revamp stuff. And CW has, 3 comic book shows, right?
Flash, Arrow,
DC Legends of Tomorrow.
Yes. And Legends of Tomorrow, yeah, 3.
And they have an animated show with the Seeds with Vixen, right? Sorry. So we first said that, first of all, they need to drop down to 15 episodes max. That's what they need to do.
Yep.
They can't be doing this full season. It doesn't make sense for CW. CW has 10 shows as a whole. 10 shows, mixture of superhero, supernatural, the vampire shows, iZombie, and all of them all together. They have, you know, 10 good shows running through the network.
Well, technically, they have 4 comic book shows.
What's the 4th one? Oh, Seeds. Right?
iZombie,
yeah. So what you should do is mix it up. Have 15 episode seasons. And then in the summertime, do a crossover special. That's where you do all your crossover. You crossover between Arrow, Flash, and DC Legends. No, keep DC Legends Tomorrow out, and then bring in Supergirl for the crossover. Just do it a 3-episode crossover, and have that in there. And then you can make it your Justice Society, and have one villain that takes over that 3-episode arc every summer for the next couple of years.
And it works out better. I mean, The 100 is a prime example. The 100 is getting, we know it's no Game of Thrones, but it's getting liked like it's a Game of Thrones.
For the network, yeah. For
that network. So yeah. CW did something very well with the 100. Yeah, you got a bunch of, they're probably young adults, but they made them look like teenagers for the most part. But it's done well, and the story is tight.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
Even if there's a filler, it doesn't feel like a filler.
Yeah, filler episodes kill it. That's why you do 15 episodes, so you don't have all these filler episodes in there. And then you don't have to so you can actually layer your episodes across and chain them. So instead of you doing crossovers, so basically Flash starts here, and you can actually make more shows. So you can actually even bring in, they'll be talking about Vixen, bringing her in to make her own show. Look.
Vixen is one prime example. You could do Blue Beetle and Booster Gold.
Oh my God, that should be straight up comedy. That has to be like,
there's so many endless possibilities where this network can do it.
yeah. And again, if you keep it short and sweet, people don't get tired. What people get tired is what we're facing now with Arrow, where it's 20 episodes, and we're like, half of this needs to go. Half of this needs to go. So I definitely see that. And I mean, hopefully they do something like that, because I mean, if you're doing short seasons with the 100 is what, 10 episodes or 11?
The 100 is 15.
15 episodes. So yeah, just if it's 15, carry that form. iZombie is also 15, right? Or 10.
Yeah, iZombie's getting ready to end.
Yeah. So
I mean, it works out, because we just got the flashback 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Now he's off until April 19th, which
makes no sense.
It's stupid, because now you just finished with a good episode where I really enjoyed it. Now I got to wait 2 weeks more for you to drop another 2 episodes, and then you take 2 more weeks off, and then you finish your season. It's just stupidity. You lose viewers.
Yeah, you do. So I definitely think you need to do that. But it helps bring more of these comic book characters out, and will just make more sense of that way. So I mean, we'll see how that actually turns out. Yes, Game of Thrones. We are excited. Just to let you guys know, we'll be doing a recap show the date of Game of Thrones. I don't know what time. Once we watch the episode, since I have HBO Go, it will be at least slightly later. So I would say 12 midnight or something like that. We'll have a recap show of Game of Thrones, which wouldn't necessarily be part of the weekly, just because Game of Thrones, you know how it is. You show up on Monday at work, man, everybody spoiled everything. So
what we do with the Game of Thrones, like you said, we talk about it that same Sunday night.
Yeah.
And then Friday we just do an overall little nugget recap.
Yeah, exactly. So that's that. Anyway, guys, that is it for this week's Comic Crunch. I was going to say this week's weekly Comic Crunch. Hope you guys enjoyed it. A lot of stuff to go through. If you have any more comments, leave them in the comment section of this video. Also, guys, don't forget to like and share this video and subscribe to the channel. Your subscription is always needed and fun, and we love that you guys subscribe and watch your stuff. Definitely check out and follow Mr. Lou Rod. His Twitter handle is Booredatwork, right there on Twitter. And of course, I am Booredatwork here. So Thunder E saying thank you, and always enjoy your entertainment.